Mobile phones now has become an undetachable part of our daily lifestyle, but it is not the same as we use it now. Unlike human beings who evolved from apes, smartphones also has its own history, which is similar to us. In this video, we are going to see the evolution of mobile phone, since from its past. The credit for making the first public mobile phones goes to Nokia, who introduced the car phones on the 17th of June 1946. Basically, in this technology, Nokia removed the old traditional cords, and with the help of cellular telephonic concept, they set up towers at different places, and fixed the 36-kilogram machine inside the car. Although, the people started loving this technology, but it was not at all a perfect portable phone, because the people have to wait for a long time to spin its dial. But this situation changed when in 1973, with the cellular telephonic concept of Nokia, an engineer of Motorola, named Martin Cooper, introduced the Dynatac 8000X, in front of the whole world, and set up a revolutionary idea. With the concept of world's new hand-portable cell phone, they started making this cell phone in the Motorola's meeting room, from November 1972, and just after 3 years, in 1973, the prototype of this Dynatac 8000X was launched. And to spread this marvelous innovation to common people, Martin Cooper made the first phone call, on the 3rd of April 1973, with this 1.1 kilograms, Dynatac 8000X, and also, that to his rival, the engineer of Nokia, Dr. Joel S. Angel. Although, Martin Cooper and his team gave the taste of wireless cell phone in 1973, but the public got to use this technology 10 years later in 1983, after the final entry of Dynatac. But to bring this concept in reality, Motorola not only spent 10 years of work on this concept, but also did a heavy investment of $93 million to complete this project. But, after this huge expenditure and hard work, this 790 grams and 10-inch long cell phone came in front of the public, which was no more less than a shoebox, and the biggest problem with this phone is that, after charging it for 10 hours, it can be used only for 35 minutes, and only 30 numbers could be saved in this cell phone. And the phone, with poor battery capacity and less storage, this phone used to cost around $35,000, which is around $85,000, in comparison with present date, which is quite a huge amount. So only a few people could afford that phone. Due to its high price and poor performance, Motorola would not be able to sell it for a long time. So they made the evolution of this phone, and in 1989, Motorola launched a flip phone, which was very similar to Yoki Toki, and named it Microtac 9800X. And as we are talking about the evolution of phones, then you know that there are many other companies in the market. So to give a challenge to the Microtac, Nokia set its foot into the cell phone industry. As we have seen, that the price of the Motorola cell phones were very high, and with less storage capacity and very poor battery life, Nokia came in the market, whose main motive was to fulfill the maximum needs of the people, that too in very low price, and with long-lasting battery life, and with more storage capacity. Unlike the big and heavy phones of Motorola, Nokia made phones which were easy to fit inside pocket and to adjust in your hands. During this time, Nokia launched its first global system mobile phone, which worked on global network for phone calls, and on the same time, Motorola, to maintain its existence in the market, and to beat the competition, Motorola launched the StarTAC, which was a flip phone, which became very popular in those days, which was the reason that the company was able to sell 60 million handsets of the StarTAC. Till now, all the phones have monochromatic screens. But after the StarTAC by Motorola, came the Siemens S10, in 1998, which had a dichromatic screen, which became the first color display mobile phone, and its display consists of red, green, blue, and white colors. And from 2001 to 2003, all the phones that came in the market had Bluetooth, contact, and emails with them. Then, camera phones entered into the market, which actually came in Japan in 2000, by the name of Sharp JSH04, but it was only available in Japan. But after understanding the demands of the public, Sony Ericsson launched the T68i, in which camera and other accessories were given with that phone, and 3 years later, Sony launched the Z1010, which was a front camera phone, so that people can communicate through video calls. But the hard work of all the companies went in vain, when in 2007, iPhone entered into the market, whose phones have inbuilt Bluetooth, internet connectivity, and made the touch screens much bigger than those of the small screen mobile phones. But, where Steve Jobs from America introduced iOS in front of the public, and to compete with it, Android entered into the market, from Google, in the same time, and launched the first phone, named HTC Dream, in 2008. In 2006, Nokia launched the Model 6131, which was the first cell phone with NFC function, and the wireless charging possibility was introduced in front of the public, after the launch of Palm Pre, in 2009. And, as the days went by, the screens of the mobile phones were made more bigger, to get a better customer experience. Say for an example, the screen of iPhone 13 is double the size of the screen of the original iPhone that was launched in 2003. During that time, with the rise of 3G, the cell phones got a better access to the internet, and this was the time when mobile phones truly started to resemble computers, and with better internet connectivity, attracted a lot of people towards video streaming and video calling, and this high-speeding internet paved the way for the development of modern smartphone. And soon after the launch of 4G network, the craze for making videos and to communicate through video calls has considerably increased, and to increase the size of the screen of the smartphone to its fullest, and to offer better cameras in mobile phones, Vivo launched the Model Nex, which had a pop-up camera. Following Vivo, many other companies also launched their phones with the pop-up camera, like OnePlus 7 Pro. Although pop-up camera phones were launched to fulfill the needs of the people, but it turned out to be the biggest problem faced by the customers, because the smartphones with pop-up selfie camera were not waterproof, as there is a tiny passage around the selfie camera, from where the water can get inside, and another biggest problem with it was that the camera pops out when there is a sudden video call, and may damage the camera when it is inside the pocket of the users. Moreover, the initial costing of this phone was comparatively high as compared to other mobile phones, so the company had to spend a lot of money to make each of these products, which was one of the biggest negative point of this phone. These were probably the reasons why these mobile phones are almost extinct nowadays, and is not used by customers anymore. In present day, 5G network is introduced in some part of the world, and this high-speed internet connectivity is attracting more and more people to engage in mobile phones. As a result, as days went by, mobile phones gradually became cost-effective, and could be easily affordable, and the phones have better camera, and long-lasting battery life. In old days, mobile phones used to have a battery of 3500 to 4000 mAh, but in present day, it has reached to 6000 to 7000 mAh. And if we talk about the camera, then the iPhone 13 camera is one of the best camera phones ever launched, and the Samsung S21 Ultra 5G has become one of the best smartphone with the ultra zoom feature, and can click the image of any object very clearly from a very long distance. But, in modern days, smartphones have developed so much that we haven't imagined it just few years ago. In 2022, Samsung launched the first foldable smartphones, named Samsung Z Flip and Z Fold. Z Flip has a OLED display of 6.6 inches, with 12 megapixel rear camera, and have a battery life of 3300 mAh. The Samsung Z Fold has a display of 7.3 inches, with 50 megapixel rear camera and 10 megapixel selfie camera, and has a battery life of 4400 mAh. The list doesn't come to an end because Vivo launches the first rolling display smartphone, named Vivo Nex Roll, which was the world's first mobile phone with an rolling screen, which can be enlarged or minimized as per the user's need, and has our operating system of Android V11, and soon many mobile phones with latest technologies are yet to come in the market. Samsung is also going to launch the first flexible mobile phone, and we are soon going to witness these wonderful inventions. And here we come to an end of our video on the evolution of mobile phones from its past.